So this is just another variation of a background that you can add and some little details that you can add as well. So if you're happy with the way that this poster looks, but you want to add a little glow around these letters, like an inside glow, what you're going to have to do is to get your text layer, bring it back, go to Fill, and lower it down. Okay, so it's going to be invisible, but any effects that I add, any blending options that I add, will be seen. So I'm going to add those blending options now. I can either go to Layer and Layer Style Blending Options, or I can just come over here and double click right on this layer. Okay, so here's my blending options. The one that I would probably suggest to try, if you want to try any of them, is the Inner Glow. So I'm going to select it, and you can see that there's a glow already happening here, but I just want it to be really subtle, so I'm going to lower the opacity, but most importantly I'm going to lower the size down to very, very low, so you can kind of see it. And play around with the opacity. The choke will make it fuzzy. The lower the number, it'll be fuzzier. The higher number, it'll be tighter, so you can make those adjustments there. And if you hit preview, there it is without, there it is with. So you don't want it to be too noticeable, but it just might add a little something to your design. So I'm actually going to leave it because I kind of like it. All right, now the border. There was one way in the video that showed you how to make a border, and that was to take this image and put it on another background. But what we can do is the way, another way. We're going to add a new layer. We're going to make sure it's on top of everything, and we're just going to dump a color in. It can be any color at all. In fact, I'm going to make it this red color because that's how much it doesn't matter what color it is. And use the paint bucket tool and dump it in. Now, just like how we did with these letters here, we're going to take the fill and lower the fill so that red is completely invisible. So what we're going to do is we're going to add two blending options to this layer. So again, I'm going to double click, or I can go to Layer, Layer Style Blending Options. Okay, so there's two that we're going to be adding, and this preview box will be helpful as well. First thing is going to be the Inner Glow, just like how we did before. But this Inner Glow, we are going to make it about 40%, more or less, and you can make those adjustments later. We're going to bring the choke up to 100%, but then the size, we're going to make it just about where you want that little line to go. If you want the line to be really, really close, you can bring it in like this, but I'm going to bring it about right there. So that's about at 140. Okay, so that number is going to be useful to know. I am now going to select Stroke. Okay, so the stroke, make sure the blend mode is set to lighten, and the size, and the opacity is going to be 100%. The blend mode's lightened, so if you notice that if you look at the bottom part here, you can kind of see on the outside. If the blend mode was set at normal, it would be just solid. You wouldn't be able to see through it. It would be opaque. So blend mode, lighten. Okay, so you can kind of see through it. This size is going to be a little smaller than the glow. I think the glow was at 140. This is at 133. So you can adjust this if you want there to be a thicker line. You can lower the number so there's more of a difference between the Inner Glow and the stroke. Or if you want it to be teeny tiny, you can get really, really close to that number. Okay. So now if you wanted to adjust it, let's say that you wanted this glow to be closer, you'd make the size bigger. And then you go back to the stroke and make that size bigger so it sits right up against it, just like that. I actually liked it better when it was a little smaller, so I'm going to bring it down. That's 125. The Inner Glow is going to be a little bigger than 125. Okay, and then that's it. So I think this looks a little bit more dressier, dresses it up quite a bit, so I do recommend using that. Okay, and that is a done project. When you save it as a JPEG, so it can be sent to me and printed and the whole bit. All right, so save as. All right. If you're using a Mac, you'll notice that sometimes you have to hit save a copy, but just make sure that that JPEG option's there. Okay, and hit save. All right, that's it. That's done project. Have a good one.